It's Retro Podcast with your host, Retro Lion. We talk music, entertainment, films, and more. And now, here he is, live, Retro Lion. Welcome back to Retro Podcast. I am the host, Retro Lion. My actual name is Ben Cena. And today we have Caitline Kilgore with us today. And we would like to welcome her to the studio.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. I'm very grateful to be here.
And where do you currently live?
I am currently in Los Angeles.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah, I was born and raised just outside of LA. So this feels like home to me.
Awesome. Yeah. My parents went to California this year without me, so I was disappointed, but we're going to try and go next year.
Oh, did they come to LA or another part of California?
No, they went to Anaheim.
Okay. Disney?
Disney. Well,
Yeah.
my dad was there for a conference, and they went to Disneyland for the first time. We always go to Disney World, and I've never been to Disneyland, and they were bummed that me and my brother weren't with them, so they hope to bring us next year because my mom wants to go
Yeah.
back for a
You'll have
conference.
you'll have to do another trip then.
Hmm. But I have been out west before to Vegas, and that's fun.
Oh, cool. I have only been to Vegas once and it was in high school. So I was like passing through and we stopped in Vegas to eat. And that's the extent of my Vegas experience is like one restaurant.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite fast food joint in LA?
Favorite fast food. I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I feel like the staple answer, especially for an LA native, is In-N-Out. I
Welcome
that
to the club.
that feels like, the thing that I kind of grew up on any like
Mhm.
long road trips, we would always stop at In-N-Out. And there's an In-N-Out fairly close to me right now, and there's always a line. I feel like people just they love it. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for their what is this like secret sauce stuff that they have on fries. Like, oh, I love
It's the
that.
best.
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, in Ohio, we don't have an In-N-Out, sadly, but we have a Culver's. It's not the same, but it's all right. But in Ohio, we do have, well, this was California based at first, but they expanded this one, and that was Raising Cane's. And they have really good sauce.
Okay. You know what? I think across the board, no matter if it's like whatever restaurant, food tastes better with like a really good sauce. I think like salsas, dips, anything that like adds that extra flavor, it makes or breaks a meal. So
Mhm.
I'm big on sauces.
Wendy's did a collaboration with Netflix and season two of Wednesday, and they did a meal collaboration, Wednesday meal, which is basically 10 chicken nuggets, French fries, and ice cream, but they put strawberry sauce in it and they're calling it blood flavored ice cream, which I'm like, that's disgusting. But they have four sauces. They made four special sauces.
Yeah, that feels very like Halloween horror-esque. Like some yeah, bloody ice cream.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it make me sick.
Yeah, you can't think about it too much. Oh, the strawberry flavor, that's great. So, it's just marketing.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is. It's marketing. And I actually discovered you in these videos on YouTube, these short films on YouTube that Dhar Mann made. And you always play the villainous character. Like, how is that so? Like, does he always cast you as the villainous character?
It's funny, yeah. So with Dhar Mann, I've the majority of the characters that I've played have been the bad guys, the villains.
Mhm.
I think I've only had a couple a couple videos
Sorry.
where I've gotten the chance to be not the villain. It's funny. I went to school for theater. I went to USC, studied theater there, and I took a class that was called Villains. And it was really fun to be able to kind of, I don't think my usual typecasting is definitely not a villain character. But it's fun to step outside of the box that I'm usually put in and kind of, take on this different perspective. And especially with Dhar Mann videos, in particular, so often it's I'm playing the bully. And I like personally growing up, I was bullied. So like I know what that feels like to be on the
I'm
other
here.
end of that. Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
Um, and so I always approach acting, there's something, we're doing it for something bigger than ourselves. And, we're with the hope ideally that like stories reach people and that it connects with someone. And so to always like have the opportunity to step into these villainous characters, hopefully it makes people feel like if they're bullied, like, oh, I've been there, I read this story resonates, I'm less alone. That's always my ultimate goal is like connection and to help people feel a little bit less alone. The actual process of acting as a villain is, I think, just kind of fun and crazy because it just feels so kind of outlandish. Um, and I don't know, it's always a good time on set and it always the circumstances especially in those stories feel like, I'm always dumping food on someone or like, and the villains get their like, get the karma comes back in at the
Oh yeah.
end. So yeah.
I think in the words of Red Foreman, when the villains get what they deserve, he calls it a foot in the behind.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's nice to see like in stories when that happens. You're like, okay, well, at least in this world, in this little story where it feels a little bit like tied with a bow at the end.
Mhm.
I don't know about real life, but
Oh yeah, we won't get there.
we won't go into that.
No, no, no. I've already been in that already last week. Don't need to go in that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I so a series I've been working on. Well, I actually did a little bit of it when I was in high school and college, and then the series ended, and now I'm looking to bring the series back. And originally was supposed to get a grant to bring the first. It wasn't like much of seasons. It was just a series of short films, kind of like what the VeggieTales did. And Wallace and Gromit was a series of short films.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Oh,
what these are like, and it's a combination of live action and stop motion. It's called Lakeside, and it's actually based on Lakeside Marblehead, but it's a fictional version of Lakeside. And originally was supposed to start doing a couple of episodes this year to have posted next year, but then federal grants stopped. All art funding for grants that you could apply to, they automatically stopped after what happened this summer. And so I said, I'll wait. So in the meantime, just remastering old short films. So like short films that weren't necessarily finished yet. I'm going back and finishing them. And then these are like remastered versions with new scenes and new visuals and new color and new sound. It's almost like what Lucas did with Star Wars until Disney
yeah.
screwed it up.
That's awesome. Hey, I mean, I think as artists and, creative people in general, we all have to like find those ways of staying creative, staying inspired. Because that just I don't know, it enriches our lives so much. We can't always wait for um the perfect, the right amount of money or the, perfect situation to come in and we have to like kind of take matters into our own hands. And so I love that you're just yeah, like you have such a good perspective of yes, I'll wait, but also I'm gonna stay creative in the meantime.
Yeah. And that was the original because the original plan was to remaster three short films. I wasn't gonna remaster all of them, was only gonna remaster three. And they were the ones that did really well, was remaster three. Because especially with there's this one short film about two golden retrievers that go to space. And I feel like there could have been more scenes to tell that story. So I'm finishing that one, and then when it's the right time to get the new episodes made, I can finally get those made. And it's not going to be like where it picks up where it leaves off. It'll be like years later, this is where everyone is. But one thing I will say, I'm just glad I don't watch South Park, but I'm just glad that South Park launched their first episode of season 27, which I couldn't tell you, that was the hardest I've laughed, and we all needed that humor.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I'm so excited that they're continuing on. Keep it on, South Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what makes it funny is that they always push the limits.
Yeah. But I think that's the beauty of like art and comedy and like we need that. We need that as a culture to see like um to hold up that mirror to us as a society, but also to have that release, to be able to laugh at how, ridiculous life is sometimes.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
It
it's
was
awesome.
all a callback to the movie because in the movie it was Saddam Hussein who gets in bed with Satan, where in this one it's the president who gets in bed with Satan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is the best advice you pass on to folks who want to go into the acting industry?
Oof, man. Best advice. I think, there's so many things that people say of like, keep going, whatever. Um I there's a lot of really beautiful advice out there, especially in navigating the ups and downs of an artistic life, acting. There's a lot of like I don't know, more granular things of like get an agent, do this, do that. But I think the biggest best thing that anyone can do is just like understand yourself. The more you know yourself, the more you know what you want to bring to the table in any kind of artistic endeavor, but also just through life. Like the more you understand who you are, your perspectives, what you value, um, and all of the life the experiences that have shaped you as a person, when you can bring all of that to whatever opportunity, whether it's an audition, whether it's you book something, whether it's just a conversation with a friend, like all of that, that is like your special sauce. That's the in and out sauce, right? Like that is your individual thing. It goes back to like authenticity. And I think a lot about life and how to learn, to grow, to evolve, but I don't know. I think it's never ending. So there's never like, oh, I've reached the point where I know myself. It's always like staying curious about who you are and the world around you so that you have yeah, you ultimately have something to say. And I don't know, I don't care what that thing is, it should matter to you. And when it matters to you, ultimately it does get people to care. Um, and to lean in. So that would be my best advice, I think. Something that I've learned too, like coaches and mentors have kind of instilled in me, like the more you know yourself, the more confidence you bring into any opportunity.
Very true. And just from going back into the other conversation with talking about how you always play the villains in short films, it's funny because I mean I don't act anymore, but I always wonder like what it'd be like to play a villain because I've never played a villain before. So I always kind of wonder what it'd be like to play a villain. But it's also curious because in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Robert Downey Jr. is now the new big bad of the Marvel Cinematic. Like he's gonna play Doctor Doom, and he was always Iron Man, and now he's playing Doctor Doom. So I'm
Yeah.
curious what the new transition's gonna feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, with playing villains, at least I have an amazing acting coach and I go to an acting studio where, every week we learn. It's kind of like, going to the gym, getting your reps in. And something that my coach has said is like acting is perspective taking. So, and you have to, it can't start with judgment, right? Like it has to just start with, I fully accept this perspective. And so even if you are a villain, the villain's not going to be like, "Oh, I'm the villain." It's like, "No, I believe that, I've been wronged or that I need to fight for XYZ in life or whatever it is." And so, but then the writing, the framing of the story allows us to see like, oh, this person's a villain. But the acting, like you have to just come at it like, no, this is my perspective, and I fully, wholeheartedly like give over to that perspective. And then you step out of it and go, okay, well, that's not me, I'm acting. But it's like flipping that switch.
Fully understood. And we are coming to the end of the interview, and we have two famous questions. My mom always has the best questions, and she always wants to know do you have a favorite board game or card game?
Ooh, I play a lot of Catan with friends.
Oh, great game.
Love that. Yeah, I think it's just it never gets boring because every game's different. So, yeah, that would probably be my favorite.
And do you have a favorite retro product?
Retro product.
Hmm. Anything from
Um,
your childhood?
retro product from my childhood. Hmm. Okay, I feel like this is a kind of a not not necessarily retro and maybe a little bit boring, but like a box of crayons. I think like a big box
It
of
counts.
like all of the fun colors, not just the normal colors, but like to me, my childhood, like I loved a day where it was like stack of paper and a whole box of crayons and like you can just make anything. And just having that creative time. And I love color in life. So
Same here.
a box of crayons, like that makes me happy.
Same here. And one last question. If there is any actor or actress you could work with, who would it be? It
Hmm.
could be more than one.
Any actor or actress. I mean, I feel like I would say Meryl Streep would be a top, I just am so in awe of everything that she does and her ability to just transform completely. Um, yeah, Meryl, there's so many greats. There's just I have a whole list. It's never ending, really.
Same
Um,
here.
yeah, but I think Meryl's probably top.
Well, they are making a Devil Wars Prada 2. Actually, no,
Yeah, they are.
I think they've already started filming that one.
Yes, I've seen some of the like background photos of like them on set and whatnot. Meryl looks iconic as always.
Mhm.
So good. I'm very excited for that one.
Well, Caitlin, thank you for joining today's episode and wish you the best with your journey.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This was a joy.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify and follow us on Instagram. See you next week.